The era of Sultan Ahmed I, who ruled the Ottoman Empire from 1603 to 1617, was a time of significant political and palace intrigues, struggles for influence and power, as well as various conspiracies that lurked behind the walls of the imperial palace. Ahmed's reign was marked by both internal problems and external challenges, but it remains one of the most fascinating periods in Ottoman history, filled with dramatic events, important historical decisions, and legends of treacherous plots. Ahmed's ascension to the throne. Ahmed I ascended the throne in 1603 at the age of 14 after the death of his father, Sultan Mehmed III, who was reportedly poisoned in a palace conspiracy. At the time, Ahmed I found himself in a difficult position. Not only did he have to learn to rule the vast empire, but he also had to navigate the ambitions of many court intriguants eager to exploit his youth and inexperience. One of Ahmed's first actions was to solidify his position within the palace, which was rife with rivals. During this period, Ottoman court intrigues were becoming increasingly elaborate. Future sultans often fought for the throne against their brothers, giving rise to numerous dark stories about conspiracies, murders, and political manipulation. Conspiracies and struggles with his brothers. One of the most famous and intriguing aspects of Ahmed I's reign was the struggle for the throne with his own brothers. The Ottoman Empire adhered to a principle known as fratricidal struggle, meaning that only one of the sultan's sons could inherit the throne, and brothers often became direct threats to one another's rule. During Ahmed's reign, his brothers, Prince Mustafa and Osman, began to express their ambitions. Of particular note was the figure of Mustafa, who at one point was seen as quite powerful and had a legitimate claim to the throne. Ahmed and his supporters began to fear that Mustafa could become a serious rival. To deal with this competitor, Ahmed made an unprecedented decision. He ordered his brother Mustafa to be imprisoned in a fortress, and later, in 1617, Mustafa was executed on charges of conspiracy. However, this act of brutality sparked numerous rumors and protests among the Ottoman elite, and Ahmed became increasingly under pressure as his harsh measures came to symbolize the weakness of his rule. The conspiracies against Ahmed didn't stop there. However, the Sultan managed to maintain his power thanks to his ability to manipulate both within the palace and among the empire's high-ranking officials. The role of women in the struggle for the throne. Like many sultans, Ahmed was not immune to the influence of women in his life. However, his mother, Valide Sultan, played a crucial role in his reign and politics. Vali, as was often the case in the Ottoman Empire, had enormous influence over Ahmed's decisions, supporting him in his battles against palace intrigues. One of the most well-known and intriguing facts about Ahmed's reign is his relationship with his wife, Hatice Sultan, the daughter of a Byzantine aristocrat. Hatice not only played a significant role in his personal life, but also actively intervened in political matters, building a network of loyal supporters and striving to strengthen her family's influence. Legends exist about how Hatice Sultan used her beauty and ability to manipulate people for her political gain. However, as Ahmed I's power grew, he began to rely more on his advisors and fellow religious leaders, which led to conflicts with his wife and mother, who sought to exert pressure on his decisions. The Sultan's strategy was to play on the various interests of the palace factions, creating a balance between competing political groups. External threats and conspiracies in the provinces. While palace intrigues were unfolding, the Ottoman Empire faced external threats, including wars with Persia and Russia. Sultan Ahmed continued to pursue an active policy of expansion and consolidation of the empire, but he often encountered internal discontent, leading to conspiracies and revolts. The struggle for influence was particularly fierce in the eastern provinces, where local rulers tried to establish their own dominion. One such conspiracy took place in the Arab lands, where the governor of Egypt led a revolt, hoping to garner support from some Byzantine factions. However, Ahmed managed to suppress this uprising by forming an alliance with local military leaders and strengthening central authority. Intrigues and conspiracies also continued in the capital, Constantinople. Attempts to eliminate rivals never ceased, all while the day-to-day life of the palace and social conflicts arising from economic difficulties persisted. Legends and myths surrounding Sultan Ahmed. During the reign of Sultan Ahmed I, several myths and legends emerged. One of the most famous is the legend of Ahmed as a noble and just ruler, who understood that the strength of the empire must come not only from him, but also from the people. It is said that he often walked among his subjects at night to learn how ordinary people lived. These rumors helped create the image of the Sultan as a fair and merciful ruler, but many historians consider this to be an exaggeration used to bolster his public image. One myth states that, when he was still a young sultan, Ahmed personally tracked down one of his closest advisors, who was suspected of conspiring against him. He secretly entered the man's house and, incredibly, didn't notify his guards, which was considered extremely dangerous. According to the legend, however, Ahmed simply spoke to the conspirator and realized that he posed no real threat to his rule. Conclusion: the era of intrigues and a transitional period. The reign of Ahmed was not only a time of struggle for the throne and palace intrigues, but also a period of transition from one political era to another. Significant changes were taking place both within the empire and in its political culture. Despite his shortcomings, Ahmed I left behind important reforms and strengthened the Ottoman Empire during a difficult historical period. The intrigues and conspiracies associated with his reign will forever remain in history as symbols of the struggle for power and influence, where every move could be decisive.